Good evening, you ghost schools, goblins, and sexy female vampires. Welcome to Horror Spectacular. Here's host, the Slayer of Evil, Franchise TV.
I waited many seasons to see this film. Well, actually, I didn't know the movie existed until 2 years ago, and I've been trying to see this film, but I kept falling asleep before the 10-minute mark of this film. Well, I finally got to see it without falling asleep. I had mixed thoughts and feelings about this film. It felt like I was watching the Joker on steroids and he finally got rid of Batman. Is that a good analogy? Whatever. So if you don't know, the film is an independent slasher film by Damien Leon, I think that's how you pronounce it, on a budget of $55,000. It was on Indiegogo, but it failed to reach its goal. But it was until producer Phil Falcone helped fund the project in exchange for a producing credit. Look, it's a film about a killer clown. I think this film was in production during those clown sightings of 2016. So I get it, but I also think Art the Clown's been around way before that happened. But let me go in later on about that. But I'm trying to be nice. I wasn't a fan of this film. It just didn't do it for me. And not to be a pansy. This is probably the first time in my lifetime I actually be able to say this. But, how can I say this without saying a pansy? But the violence towards the women in this film was just too much for me. It seemed to be in bad taste. That's all. Finally, I said it. I had to admit to it. It just wasn't there for me. Like, I've seen violence towards women in other horror films, but this one just didn't do it for me, right? The kills were brutal, and no character had hope of surviving this brutal clown's rampage. Now, I haven't seen the sequel yet, but I'm guessing the clown could possibly be immortal or something like that. Like I said, I haven't seen the sequel. I don't know. Because he was stabbed and hit multiple times in the face and sides, and he still got back up. Now, I do remember this as I write. Like I said before, Art the Clown's first appearance goes back to All Hallows Eve, the anthology film. And I vaguely remember that. But this clown is a brutal, sadistic clown. Joker on steroids. Joker on EPO. I don't know, man. I don't know, you guys. I just wasn't a fan. But since the first appearance of Art the Clown, the serial killer has become a staple in the horror film community now. See him on t-shirts and everything. But the film just lacked a hero. It's like they put a few hot women, some men in the box, and had the clown have his way in the box. Going back to slasher film past, at least there was a known protagonist that everyone root for, like you saw Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th. Shoot, I'll put Alien in there. There was no hero in this film, no final girl that you would hope to survive. Not to say no one survived this film, but you don't really feel for any of the characters in this film. You just don't. It's like, okay. It's like, I don't know. And the weird part of this, I'm a fan of this slasher film, but this, like I said, it just didn't do it for me. I'm conflicted now. But I will look for the sequel on these streaming sites. And I heard Terrifier 3 is coming out really soon. I don't know the exact date off the top of my head. But this film just seems like a bloody mess. But I give props to independent creators attempting to bring something new to the table. And props for bringing in the hot women. It's always a plus. But I know that there are fans of this new franchise. But I'm hearing word that the sequel is being praised. And has gotten a lot of praise. So I'm certain to report back to you guys all about it once I view the sequel to this film. But I'm sorry. It just didn't do it for me. It's the honest to God truth. Not hating. The fact that I gotta say I'm not hating these days. It's crazy.